It seems like some of our forests are being managed in courtrooms and not directly by foresters. We need to allow forest managers that have the competent skills and abilities to manage our forests and not necessarily let litigation start to manage our forests. I think it's important to have forests have more of a mosaic approach, where we have things like our national park system, where we have untouched reserves of beautiful large trees. I'm going to have my grandchildren go to Crater Lake someday and be able to see the same trees that I saw when I was a young person. I think those social values are really important. I also think that some of the economic values are very important, where we have timber dollars come in to support our local communities and have a natural resource that is in perpetuity, growing continuously. That's really rare, I think, for a lot of other places in America that perhaps do coal or steel, something that isn't going to continue to grow. We have a really unique resource that we can manage in perpetuity and maximize those values. Old growth is always in the news, and it seems to be one of the things that we are always constantly striving for on our public lands. Old growth currently doesn't really have a definition of a diameter or an age class, but more of a biodiversity standpoint. We can really easily manage for old growth and actually even grow more old growth if we're able to do good stand management of our current stands. That being said, we can do timber management in old growth, we can grow wildlife in old growth, we can do all these different things through good stand management practices. We can even do certain harvests in old growth and really promote those large trees being able to be grown. And those can be for wildlife, for aesthetic values, for different social values, and really the whole different array of things that people expect from our forests. Things like the biscuit fire really present a unique management for foresters in the local area. We know that foresters are going to eventually come back through the natural approach. However, the natural approach might take a lot longer period of time than if we went in and were able to do good stand management and get trees growing back immediately again. The land would come back to brush, and it would come back and really be not conducive for tree growing for perhaps up to 100 years. And it would really be kind of difficult to control fires in there again, and has a lot of potential for reburn. Being able to do good stand management, clearing some of those trees, extracting the values that we have out there now, and then being able to put that land back into production for all the water needs, the wildlife needs, as well as wood product needs, might be a really good way to address things. Some of the recent controversy has been that should we go in and extract some of the timber values and get things out of there now and get back into planting, or should we let it go back to natural? On a scale of 500,000 acres, which is roughly the size of the biscuit fire, I think we can have different management approaches and really experience all the different pieces that go in there. We know that we're going to have costs of fighting fires. We know we're going to have costs of fire management, and perhaps some of the extractions that we could have from there could help pay some of those bills, as well as put local people to work and also get that land back producing those values that society really needs. Some of those values might be timber for our homes that we use. It might be those wildlife values that we like to have and the aesthetic values. It also might be the water flowing into the rivers or just the creeks and streams that we have. But using all the tools in the toolbox, that clear cutting, the partial cutting, the planting, all those different things really allows for good forest management and allows us to meet the objectives of the landowners, whether it be public or private ownership. I hope that we can get back to a holistic sense of our forests and our forest values. People need to realize that our forests are here, they're growing, and we need to be able to balance the social, environmental, and economic approach so we can maximize the values that come from our forests.